Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about the Large Hadron Collider and the discovery of the Higgs particle. So this started in 1964. Peter Higgs, along with a few of his colleagues, really smart fellows, proposed this mechanism of the Higgs field, and this would be a mechanism by which every fundamental particle in the universe would gain mass by interacting with this field, this Higgs field. So almost 50 years later, we start building this thing, the Large Hadron Collider, the largest particle accelerator in the world, 27 kilometers around, 100 meters deep in the ground below Geneva, Switzerland. Cost about $9 billion total, has about 10,000 people working on it, 6,000 tons of magnets colder than outer space, all of these kilometers of accelerator tubes which are emptier in a vacuum than the surface of the moon, 275,000 kilometers of cables, trillions and trillions of protons moving at any given time at 99.99999% the speed of light, and all of these trillions of protons moving at the speed with the total energy of a freight train moving at top speed. So we built this thing. We built this giant, ginormous science machine, and we built it to find this Higgs particle, and we switch it on, and 2012 we find it. We find the thing that 50 years ago some guys were thinking about writing down on pieces of paper. Suppose if we had this kind of particle, this kind of field that gives mass to other particles, like maybe this is true. Years and decades pass, we built this enormous machine, and we find it. We find the thing. And Peter Higgs was asked about this, and he was just really modest and humble. He said, "It's nice to be right sometimes." It's fascinating to think how these kind of things work, these enormous scientific collaborations where what humanity can do in search for knowledge to actually understand this universe. This wasn't some military effort, this wasn't some political agenda, this was just countries coming together, scientists from all over the world agreeing that let's work on this. Scientists from over 100 countries work on this thing together, and we find this thing and we continue to work on it. Right now I believe the LHC was just shut down for further upgrades, and when it's turned on it will have even more energy to look even deeper into the future. It's interesting how these things work. It doesn't make sense if we imagine how the accelerator these particles moving in this thing actually work. It's not best to think of them as kind of small balls like protons flying around in the tubes. What all particles really are, and the best way to think about it, are vibrations in a field. So you can think about what they're trying to do when they're colliding these different protons together. They are colliding together vibrations in fields, and then they're seeing how these fields interact when they collide with each other. And this is how it works. It wouldn't work, and it doesn't really make sense if you think about just two tennis balls colliding or billiard balls or whatever. But these are vibrations in all kinds of different fields, either electron fields, all different fields in our universe. And what we're trying to do is to excite these kind of fields and see new things. Most of the time, 99.999%, we don't see anything new. It's absolutely predictable, and there are millions of collisions happening every second at the LHC when it's turned on. But it takes good software and hardware to figure out which one of these collisions, of these vibrations of particles, are actually something interesting to look at. So it's really interesting stuff, and I was just thinking about how amazing it is that we can do these things, and this is just the start of us as a species building these kind of things, and in the future it's amazing to see what more we can accomplish. So just wanted to share some facts about the LHC and the Higgs field, the Higgs particle. Hope you had some interesting thoughts from this. If you have any ideas, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.